Welcome back, everybody. So, one of the things we really want to drive is being able to help others in Ramadan, being able to feel for others in Ramadan. You know, man, like we're all struggling with COVID, right? It's been a really tough year, right? It's been over a year for now. Some people are sick, some people are really struggling.
Yeah.
And we need to be able to just feel for others, and not make things difficult for others and bring ease to others
Yeah.
and seek that as a way to get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, right? And subhanAllah, the Prophet ﷺ, he says that whoever helps somebody, right, will be the most beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Like helping others and bringing ease to others is a big pillar in our religion, and it's a great act of worship that we can all do in the month of Ramadan.
So there's a particular incident that actually highlights that point very well. It's an incident with Mu'adh ibn Jabal radiallahu anhu, where he is leading Maghrib prayer, and a man comes. He's one of the people from the Ansar. He's coming to pray, and he hears Mu'adh radiallahu anhu reciting Surah Al-Baqarah. And you can imagine, like,
Maghrib, right?
even as soon as we hear Alif Lam Mim, sometimes our heart just drops.
Allah.
And we're like, oh, it's gonna be a long night. And it's not Taraweeh where you expect a long prayer, but it's Maghrib. And even Maghrib is even the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ, he used to make it very short. So Mu'adh was overzealous in a sense where he wanted to read Surah Al-Baqarah. So this man, he prayed by himself. And then he went to the Prophet ﷺ to complain. He tells me, Ya Rasulullah, like, some of us are old, some of us are weak, and Mu'adh radiallahu anh, is reading Surah Al-Baqarah, so I couldn't pray behind him. So then the Prophet ﷺ, he goes up to him and he tells him, أَفَتَّانٌ أَنْتَ يَا مُعَاذ. Like, just that sentence, it's a heavy sentence where he says, are you trialing people? Are you putting hardship upon people? Are you making, basically life difficult for people? Ya Mu'adh, O Mu'adh, radiallahu anhu. And then the Prophet ﷺ advises him, he tells him, why don't you read, from Sabih Isma Rabbika Al-A'la, Surah Al-A'la? Why don't you read from Surah Al-Shams? They're like a half page, it'll take maybe 1 or 2 minutes for you to read. So subhanallah, this wasn't meant to just say to shorten our prayers as much as possible, but it's the moral of the story is to be aware of other people around you, being aware of what difficulties people are going through, especially during the environment that we have right now with COVID, where you're socially distant, and a lot of times we're more distant from people now than ever before. So making sure we're checking on people, making sure that if someone is going through difficulty, finding the time during the month of Ramadan to bring happiness upon them. The hadith that you mentioned, or it was the beginning of the hadith, but even the later portion of the hadith, Prophet ﷺ, he says that whoever puts ease or brings ease to someone's life, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bring ease to his life as well.
And subhanAllah, man, like with COVID and the masajid, I feel like a lot of masajid are really going to be struggling to like control the crowds. And I feel like we all need to be able to help the volunteers and whatnot, and use that as an act of worship. Right? We have to be able to recognize that these simple things, right, these simple characteristics can be our reasons for our Ramadan to be meaningful, for our Ramadan to be accepted. Is to be there for others. Yes, we talked about dua, and we talked about salah, we talked about the Quran, we talked about all these amazing things, which is great, but there is a symbol in Ramadan about community, about being there for one another, and I think everybody needs to remember that. With that, inshallah, we'll talk about a story tomorrow, inshallah, about how the Prophet ﷺ, when he saw certain young people struggling, right, in the community, how he dealt with it, and we'll learn how to deal with ourselves if we are struggling. We'll see you tomorrow, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.